there could be a chance of flurries in your area, Wild. For Tuesday morning. Hold on a minute. All right, I'm back. Folks in the U.S., for Tuesday morning, a lot of humidity throughout much of Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley, the Ozarks, Florida. A little bit of humidity will be in Arizona, southern Arizona, to parts of the West Coast, and a little bit on the leeward side of the Cascades in Washington State and northern Idaho. For tomorrow, for Tuesday night, while your dew point values will be going way down, which means it'll be very dry in the afternoon to early evening hours. Now, what about humidity? There's going to be a lot of humidity throughout the Gulf Coast, but in most of Texas, lower to mid-Mississippi Valley to Florida, a little bit of humidity in parts of Arizona, San Francisco Bay Area, and Central Valley, California. And portions of Montana, too. Now, for Wednesday morning, while your dew point values go up, which means that you're going to end up getting some wet weather for Wednesday, starting on Wednesday morning. Well, we'll see about that. But first things first, in the U.S., there's a lot of humidity. That's going to happen throughout much of the Gulf Coast states, lower Mississippi Valley, Florida, a little bit, but growing a little bit more in Arizona, and still a tiny bit in the Central Valley, California, and a tiny bit in the north, in the western part of the Dakotas, and portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley. Finally, wild for you on Wednesday night, your dew point values go up, which means that you're about to get some wet weather or a chance of wintry weather. Or a chance of wintry weather. There's going to be a lot of moisture still lingering around throughout the south and the parts of the Ohio Valley. A tiny bit of leftover moisture in parts of California and the desert southwest, and a tiny bit in the rest, in much of the Great Plains and the Mid-Atlantic. Now let's talk about Cape. Okay, so Cape. There's a lot of Cape in eastern Texas, and a tiny bit in Florida, and tiny bits of convection throughout much of the western third of the U.S., parts of the Great Lakes region to the Mid-Atlantic and parts of the Northeast. Okay. A lot of convection throughout eastern Texas and the southeastern plains, lower Mississippi Valley, tiny bit in Florida, tiny bits in parts of the Northeast, eastern, northern Great Lakes region, and much of the western third of the country, and as well as parts of the Ohio Valley. I mean, the Great Plains region. Why do I mix everything up for myself? Okay. For Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, there's going to be plenty of convection throughout much of Texas, southern plains, tiny bits throughout parts of the Great Lakes region, and portions of the Great Plains, and still left over tiny bits of convection throughout the western third of the country, and tiny bits still remaining in Florida, but not as much though. Now, what about for Tuesday night? For Tuesday night, there's a good amount of Cape that's going to occur throughout South Florida, majority of Texas, lower Mississippi Valley, tiny bits in the central Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Lakes region, interior Northeast, and still plenty of cape throughout much of the western third of the country. Why do I keep doing that? Now for Wednesday morning, a lot of cape throughout much of the south central part of the country, as well as much of the Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Plains region, Ohio Valley, portions of the Great Lakes region, and portions of the Mid-Atlantic, and still leftover readable amounts of cape in the western third of the country, but not as much as the previous days, though. Finally, we got plenty of convection throughout Texas all the way to Tennessee, and in South Florida too. Tiny bits of convection still left over throughout just tiny bits that's left over in the Dakotas, Great Plains, to the Mid-Atlantic, and desert Southwest, portions of California, Great Basin, and the Northern Rockies, Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho. There's still leftover convection there. And now I'm going to go to here just to prepare myself for here after I'm done with windy.com. Alright, now let's play the animation. So here it goes. So we start off a lot of wet weather in the Northeast, Great Lakes region, and the West. Then we move into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning, where there's still some wet weather to deal with throughout places like the interior Northeast, some of which may end up having rain mixed in with snow. Still plenty of wet weather along the West Coast in the form of rain along the coast and valleys and mountains. Plenty of snow high up in the mountains, and that includes as well as those in the Great Basin states, portions of the Rockies in Colorado and Wyoming. Still some wet weather in the Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho. In Idaho, I should say much of Idaho. Hold on a minute, let me make myself comfortable. Hold on. Okay. Just for a few minutes, though. Okay, so then after that, going into the afternoon hours and into the early evening hours, in which the system slightly moves east. Still somewhat weather in the western part of the country, with some valley, coastal rains, mountain snow from Washington State to California. A lot of snowfall is going to occur throughout the Sierra Nevadas, though, and the Rocky Mountains, too. Portions of the Great Basin may get a little bit of snow up in the mountains. Valleys get some rain. The Great Plains states, you have South Dakota going into Kansas City, to St. Louis. A lot of rain, but to the north, upstream, near Minneapolis, St. Paul, and southwestern Wisconsin, there could be some snow, but to the east, some rain could occur there, and that includes Chicago. And there's going to be still some wintry weather in the form of snow in the interior parts of the Northeast. Then we roll into the overnight hours and into Tuesday morning, where the system slowly moves eastward, in which case there's still plenty of rain and snow throughout much of the Mississippi Valley, from places like Paducah, Kentucky, all the way upstream towards Minneapolis, St. Paul. Wet weather will occur there. Chicago with some rain, but Minneapolis gets some snow. And just to the northwest of Milwaukee, they're going to get some wet rain and snow there. South of Detroit, some places could get some snow there. Ohio and Indiana, they'll get a lot of rain there, and along the rest of the Ohio Valley, but some places may get some snow mixed in with some rain. A tiny bit of snow showers will still linger throughout the interior parts of the Northeast, like Maine and Vermont and New Hampshire on the north side. And going up into, going into the western part of the U.S., still some wet weather. It's going to occur throughout California, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. Some places will get some rain, otherwise mountains will get some snow. In Washington State, some rain, but in the Cascades, there may be snow mixed in with some rain. Yellowstone and southwestern Montana and east central Idaho, some rain and snow, depending on the temperature profile and elevation. Then working our way into Tuesday afternoon and into Tuesday evening, where we're going to see that the system will only be limited to those in the southwest, with some mountain snow, coastal and valley rains, some mountain snow and valley rains in the Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho and northern Rockies. Tiny bits of rain would still remain, but on the coastal side of Washington State. All that rain moves east, affecting places like the Ohio Valley, all the way to New Jersey and parts of the New York City area. Then you have some snow and maybe some rain mixed in with snow in parts of Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and a little bit of rain in Illinois and Indiana. And a similar story in northern Wyoming and southern Montana and eastern Idaho too. Maybe a little bit of rain in parts of Florida. Then going into Wednesday morning, it turns out that you're not going to get much throughout the next 2 days. But I can look back in case if I overlooked for your area. But still, there's some wet weather that's still going to occur throughout the New York City area. And some snow will occur throughout places like the Poconos and the Catskills. But down to the south, rain will affect places like the Delmarva Peninsula, North Carolina, Tennessee, all the way to Memphis and Tupelo, and southern Arkansas. There's going to be plenty of rains and showers throughout the desert Southwest. A few places will get some mountain snow, and then in the Great Basin states, valley rains, mountain snow, all the way up north towards the northern Rockies and Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho. In the Sierra Nevadas, some places may get some snow, otherwise it's just going to be some showers down the valleys and into the desert. And some showers will occur throughout nearby places like San Diego in southern New Mexico and North Dakota as well. And then finally, we roll into the afternoon hours and into early evening. While I'm not seeing any snow, but chances are that you might get snow on Thursday, as you have indicated yesterday. But I'll be happy to check that again, just to be on the safe side. Some showers could remain in parts of the New York City area, the Carolinas, and some showers could brew throughout places like Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia. And all that wet weather starts moving eastward towards the desert Southwest to the northern Rockies, Great Basin states, and places throughout the Great Basin, valley rains, mountain snow, and a similar story in the desert Southwest, but mostly rain, and just plenty of showers, or otherwise possibly some snow showers in North Dakota and northern Minnesota, tiny bits of showers. I don't know if I already said that. Texas could get plenty of rains there. Oh yeah, and wild, let me just slowly move backwards for you. Well, wild, it looks like you won't be getting any chance of snow showers or any type of precipitation before, let's say, 72 hours from now, which is like 3 days from now. Okay, now let's take a look in terms of thunderstorms. Okay, so moving forward, not much going on. Going into the early Monday morning hours, tiny bits of thunderstorms in Nebraska before sunup, and brewing thunderstorms in the mid-Mississippi Valley from tomorrow night, especially near Kansas City, and into early Tuesday morning. Still thunderstorms there, but yet